Buddy, สวัสดีครับสวัสดีตอนเช้า How is everybody doing? Can you hear me all right? Loud and clear? All righty. Well, if you don't know me, I am Scott and I'm an American in Bangkok, in Thailand, where I've been living for the past 30 years. Whether you are a longtime expat, a newbie, or just considering making the move to Thailand, this survival test is for you. I don't know how difficult it is. I mean, to me it's very easy, but to some people who are coming here, good morning, Bruce, maybe it's difficult for them. Now, living as an expat in Thailand isn't just about finding the best beaches or great food. It's about navigating a completely different culture. Morning. Good morning. Morning, folks. It's about understanding local customs and handling situations in a way that helps you fit in smoothly and to help you avoid getting into trouble. With some people, trouble just seems to find them. And I'll say, when I first came here, it found me a little too often, but I learned very quickly how to avoid trouble. So do you think that you can survive as an expat in Thailand? I know people who, they come over here, oh yeah, everything's great. I'm doing great. And a month later, they're like, I don't know about this place. Everybody's looking at me. I don't really like it. I thought it would be different. So I'm going to throw some real world challenges at you. Some daily annoyances and others that can cost you time and money or maybe get you into trouble. So let's see if you have what it takes to handle life in Thailand, or you'd be one of those who are on the first plane home. And it's amazing, really, because I honestly think, well, the Pareto principle, 80-20. I think 80% of people make it and 20% go back home. Now, it could be the other way around. But I think some people definitely go home and they're not cut out for it. It's not what they think. Some people they come here and they go, I don't like Thailand. I've heard a few people say that. And I'm like, okay, so what don't you like? There's a lot of things you can't like here, you don't like here. But there's a lot of things back in the US or Australia or, I go over this all the time. Every place has its share of positives and negatives. So, but before I get started here, the exchange rate, 33.83 to the dollar, which, yeah, I'll take it, but I want 34 plus. Air quality is 66, which is moderate. Temperature in Celsius, 26 degrees, high of 32, low of 26, and the feel like temperature is 28. In Fahrenheit, it's 79 degrees, which is quite nice. High of 89, low of 78, and 82 is the feel like temperature. 87% humidity, which is not great. However, there is a heavy rain warning, and that's why it's so cool out. It's a bit overcast right now, looks like rain, and it's cooler than it has been in the last couple of days. But the forecast is partly cloudy with a 70% chance of rain tomorrow and 55% chance on Sunday. So that's how it goes. It might be raining, and you know what? That's just fine for me. I'll stay inside. It's nice and air conditioned. I got a couple things to do. We're cleaning house this weekend. At least that's what my wife says, so I'm happy. And if it's raining, that's even better. I'm going to walk you through a series of questions that will challenge your ability to adapt to life in Thailand. Now, that's a bit of a bold statement, but the goal is simple. Figure out if you can handle the challenges of life as an expat, from dealing with local bureaucracy to managing the cultural misunderstandings. And I'll be honest, in the beginning, when I first came over here, the first year, the only problems I had were just miscommunications. I couldn't speak the language. They couldn't speak my language. And, you know, that was the only problem that I really had. They didn't understand me. I didn't understand them. And I'd say, oh, yeah. And they'd be like, no. You know, we didn't mesh. But it, you know, as I say all the time, if you learn the language and you get into the language a little bit, it gets easier to understand them and for them to understand you. And then you have, I can't even remember the last time I've had a really serious misunderstanding, because, well, just for whatever reason, I can't even remember. It's been years. Now, sometimes they would tell me something and I wouldn't like it, and I would say something back in Thai, and I would say, you know, something like, well, that's not good. I don't like that. What are we going to do about it? But for the most part, that's all it was. So let's see if these questions test your patience, challenge your cultural awareness, and perhaps others will test how well you can keep your cool when things go wrong. And you know what? That's all it is, really. Just keep your cool. I'm nobody special. I just have learned. Keep your cool. You know what? You can swear under your breath. You can go into your house calling them, you know, whatever you want. But when you're dealing face to face with somebody, you try to be as polite as possible, and you try to keep your cool. And that's about the best advice I can give to anybody. Keep your cool. You know, keep your cool. If you don't like something, that's okay. But just keep your cool. If you come off nasty and you're kind of aggressive, well, then you're not going to get very far. But if you say you don't like something, but you're very mellow about it, well, maybe you can work something out. And people don't understand that. You know, they've got to get angry. No, you don't. You can control that anger and use it, you know, like my mother used to say, you get more flies with honey than with vinegar. And that's all it really is. It's pretty simple. Okay, one more thing. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you've yet to subscribe, please do so. And remember to hit the notification bell so you'll stay informed of my upcoming videos and live streams. Tomorrow I have a video at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's about the issues that have been going on in Pai with the police, with the Thai government, with the Israeli embassy, with the backpackers, the tourists there, the Israeli tourists, and about how people tend to write me, blaming me. They blame me for naming the Israelis as the people who are at fault. I don't get it. Now, obviously, in this particular case, it was Israelis. In a lot of other cases, I mean, you know, if you guys have been watching for a while, you saw me on the train to, where was it? To, I don't know. I don't remember where I was going, but it was on my trip to go to Laos and then Vietnam, and then I flew back from Vietnam to Bangkok. But I took the train to like Chiang Mai, or I don't remember where it was. I can't remember right now. And there was a guy on there. He was a French guy, you know, with his little bun, you know, hairy, smelly, didn't wear shoes. Sat with his feet up on the chair next to a Thai girl, and the Thai girl was mortified. And I wanted to say something, but, you know, I'm like, it's not my business. Even if the guy does stink and he's sitting, you know, one row away from me, it's not my place to tell him, you need to be wearing shoes and why don't you go take a shower? You know, it's not my business. But he wasn't Israeli, he was a French guy, and I mean, it happens all the time, all right? So it's just a couple of minutes, but that's the video for this week. Oh, if you want to send a Dear Scott letter, you can do so. If you need a consultation, you can do so. Just email anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. That's where you send your messages. What was that here? No, it was not to Vian Chen. Not to Vian Chen. Good morning, good morning. I don't remember where it was, but I got to Vian Chen by the train ended, and then I think I took, hey Andy, I think I took a Songtao or something into no, how did I do it? No, I didn't go to Vian Chen. We went to the river, which I don't remember the name of the little town, and then I got a boat was it the next day? Yeah, the next day I got the boat, and it took 2 days to get to Luang Prabang. So I didn't go to Vian Chen. Anyway, as we go through these questions, I would like you to answer honestly, and I think they're pretty simple for anybody who knows anything about Thai culture, but if you really don't know much about Thai culture, don't feel bad. If you go to Thailand a couple of times, you'll learn. But answer honestly what you would do in each situation. At the end of the test, I'll break down your answers and give you a score, possibly, and we'll see if you're truly ready for the Thai way of life, or if you need to make a few adjustments before diving in. And what I'll say is, you know, I've just been noticing all kinds of YouTube videos and all kinds of things in the news. And I think most of the time, a lot of it is for people, they just haven't got a clue about what's going on here. They really don't know. And, you know, they're just kind of, they're freaking out about things, and they shouldn't be freaking out about them. Perfect example was the weed. Oh, medical use only. Oh my God. What are we going to do? Nothing, because they're probably not going to change anything, especially now. How long has it been since they talked about that? Right? They're not going to do anything. And if they do, it's going to be like, okay, they can issue a card to you right there at the shop. I don't know what TikTok is. I mean, I know that TikTok, the app, but I don't use it, ever. I don't ever use it, and I don't want to. So for those of you who think I'm money hungry, I could be using every single piece of social media and putting my stuff out there, and I don't really do that. Because you know what? TikTok, to me, I don't really care about it, all right? Okay, so maybe you're going to need a pen and paper, and let's get started with the Thailand Expat Survival Test. Okay, now, first of all, how long have you been in Thailand? Or do you plan on coming here, or do you just visit once in a while? That's the first question. The next question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think that you'll handle life here? Now, it has all the guys eating at 7-Eleven on there. You know, I saw a girl, I don't know what her name is, I don't remember, but it was some YouTube video. You know, I mean, I go onto YouTube and I'm looking for stuff that doesn't have to do with Thailand. Because I really don't, I mean, I live in Thailand, I hear about, oh, this is Thailand, this is Thailand. Yeah, I know it's Thailand. I live here. I'm not one of these guys who's like, wow, you know, I'm living in Thailand, I'm living the life. I've got it made. I don't even think that way. Seriously. I came here and maybe I thought that in the beginning, but that was a long time ago. Honeymoon is over, baby. It's just like I live back in the United States. I get tired of this place. I get tired of going to certain places. You know, I've gone to certain places 25 times, and, you know, I got somebody that's like, oh, I really want to go there, and I'm like, I don't want to. I'm sorry. And 7-Eleven, I saw the girl, she has a whole bag, and she's like, this is what I bought with like 600 baht at 7-Eleven. I'm like, you know what? You're going to be hard-pressed to buy anything worth a shit at 7-Eleven. You can get hard-boiled eggs, bananas, you can get some water, tuna fish, maybe, that doesn't have like oil in it. And what else? And if you want like a candy bar or something, okay, you can get that. But going there all the time, I don't go to 7-Eleven. Very rarely. What is there? I'm interested in knowing what is there. Oh, you can get food. Oh, you can get beer. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't drink that much beer. And when I get my beer, I get it from here. I mean, we got a Heineken bottle, a big Heineken bottle, in our refrigerator. It's probably been in there for a year, and we don't drink it. We have like 7 bottles of wine. We have tequila, and we just don't drink it. Once in a while, you know. The wife will go, oh, I feel like having a glass of wine. You want one? Yeah, all right. I have a glass or two of wine, and that's it. So what do I need to go to 7-Eleven for? I just don't understand the allure. Why do I want to go to 7-Eleven? Oh, I want to buy some, what is it? The microwavable food. I don't want to eat that shit. You know, really. But I saw the girl, and she's like, oh, look what I got. And I'm like, yeah, that's why you're fat. Not like kind of big. No, she was large, really large. I'm like, you want to be healthy, don't go to 7-Eleven to get your food. Or if you're going there, get some eggs, hard-boiled eggs. Get a little yogurt, some yogurt milk. I mean, you know, have something like that, okay? But what else are you going to get from there? And if you want a beer, okay, fine. But, you know, anyway, I digress. Let me see here. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think you'll handle life here? Quick chat about why China is amazing but not always easy for expats. Well, I think we know that. And I would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say I got a 9. Because it's like, you know how you're on autopilot. You're back home, you're maybe in the U.S., and you're going to work every day, and you come home from work, and, you know, maybe you stop off and get something at the grocery or at the, you know, some fast food or something. And then, you know, by the time you get settled at 7 or 8 o'clock, you're done eating, you take a shower, you're tired, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. That's exactly how I am. That's how I am here. You know, I don't have a different life like a lot of people. I don't always feel the need to go out and, oh, I'm going to go to Pattaya. Wow. I mean, if I go, it's because I'm going with a bunch of buddies. It's not even to go to the bars, So it's a little bit, obviously life is a little different. And I would say my life is probably a lot different than many people's lives, with the exception of the people who live out in the Bangkok. The people who live in the villages generally have a pretty mellow life. Somebody like Jim, I guess. I'm sure he can buy beer at 7-Eleven or whatever, or you can get it at Macro, or you can get it where, it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's continue. I thought I was doing well if I got on the right BTS MRC. That brings another subject up. I saw these guys, this is just this morning, these two guys who have a podcast. Now, they've been here like 2 or 3 months, and they're offering consultations, which I don't understand it, but whatever. I'm not here to bitch about that. And the guy's like, oh yeah, if you go to the BTS and you're over, you're an elderly person over 60, you'll get a discount. And then they also get that on the MRT. And I go, you don't get a discount on the BTS, buddy. You don't. They don't give it for foreigners. So let's get that straight right now. You want to get on the MRT, they'll give you a discount. And it's pretty damn cheap, because they give you 50% off. I rarely spend much money on the MRT, but I do spend money on the BTS, and they just won't. Doesn't matter. They're not going to give me a discount. I'm a franc, All right, now. It doesn't sell alcohol, so I have to do a drywall to get to the Bangkok areas. Well, I thought you live in the Bangkok. They sell alcohol at the 7-Elevens around here. There's like 3 markets just in our little village that I know of, and I mean that I can just think of off the top of my head. And they all sell booze. And guess what? I've never bought booze from them. I just don't need it. And that's another thing. Why would I go there? You know why we go there? We run out of dish soap, and we got a what do you call it? I'm blanking out right now. We run out of dish soap, and we got dishes in the sink, and we got nothing to clean them with. So we go down there, we spend 30 baht, we get a little thing of dish soap that we can use, and then the next day when we go to the mall or whatever, we get a big thing of dish soap, and we're all right. That's about the only reason we go down there. All right, so let's get started here. We're already like 25 minutes in, and I haven't started yet. Okay. Now this is to me this is pretty easy. This is has to do with visa and immigration situations. Your visa expired 2 weeks ago, and you have overstay panic. What do you do? Do you stay in your apartment and hope no one notices for like 20 years? Or do you go straight to immigration, admit your mistake, and pay the fine? I mean, it's pretty easy. Come on. If you don't know the answer to this one, don't come here. Movie complexes, that doesn't mean much. Home improvement stores. All right, but you don't really need 4. Like 1 or 2 is enough. A mall, okay, that's nice. Obviously, that's just where, I mean, I think about it. Most of the time I come here. Now I could go to other coffee shops like I did last week when I went to what was it called? Miwana Organic Coffee, and it wasn't all that far down the road. But I start thinking about, okay, I can go down here. There's coffee culture. But most of them are not as nice as this place. So I think to myself, why am I going to do that? I could just stay home and have a nice coffee myself. I made myself a coffee this morning before I had this coffee. The coffee was excellent because I cleaned out my little manual espresso maker and scrubbed it all down, and everything works great now. So the coffee tastes a lot better. Well, I don't think it really matters how many beds are in the hospital. I think it matters what machines they have in the hospital so that they can take care of everything. All right, now, what is the right answer to this? Come on. If you don't know the answer to this one, you shouldn't come here. Now, an overstay fine is 500 baht a day, and the max is 20,000 baht that you'll be fined. And if you get caught before you turn yourself in, you risk detention and being banned from Thailand. Now, when this came out originally, when they started if we catch you, you're going to be banned, they called me and said to me, well, they called me and I was like, oh shit. I was like, no, we love you. I was like, okay. I was a little bit nervous. And I go there, there's like 6, 7 immigration officers sitting around me. I'm like, they gonna throw me in jail? So then they said to me, can you please spread the word and tell people they're gonna be banned if they get caught before they turn themselves in. So, now it used to be 200 baht a day. That's all it was. And it used to not be a big deal. Now, if you overstay in 5 years, 10 years, they know you overstayed on that one particular time. If you overstayed for 5 or 6 days, they know it. If you overstayed for a month, they know it. They have a record of it, and they know. Now, with me, what happened was, I had a passport, and for some reason, my cologne broke in my luggage, and it went all over the passport. And then I left that passport somewhere. They knew. They looked at it and they go, "What happened to the passport?" I go, I'm going to get a new one." Okay. And then I lost that passport somehow. I went, filed a police report, did all that stuff. Every single time I went to immigration, every time I went through in the airport, they had to get somebody to come over and click OK, like a supervisor, to hit OK, and they were like, "What happened to your passport?" I'm like, "I lost it." And that went on for like 5 years. Every time I went through, I got held up. It was only, if there was somebody standing right there, they'd come over, hit a little button, boom, that would be it. But sometimes it'd be like, "Oh, I got to wait for my supervisor to come over here," and like 5 minutes later, he'd come over. So, anyway, you don't want problems with immigration. That's the last place you want problems with. Okay, border run gone wrong. You get denied entry for not enough proof of funds. Now, that's never happened to me. And I don't think they've even asked me. I think they asked me once, and I showed them a credit card. I go, I got my credit card. And they let me go through. In Japan, they hit me up, and I said, listen, I don't need an exit. I don't need a flight out of Thailand because I live there. I have a visa for there. Oh my God, they almost didn't let me on the plane. They had to call up the supervisor. The supervisor came down. He questioned me. And I was like, look in the passport. There's a visa. I'm allowed to stay for a full year. Finally, the guy goes, well, okay. But, that was in Japan. And they're the only ones who have really held me up at all. Okay, what do you do when you get denied entry for not enough proof of funds? This is a question for you guys. Well, you don't say that you effed up. You don't use that kind of language if you know what's good for you. You try to be a little more polite than that. You say, I'm sorry, I make mistake. Oh, big problem. Oh. So sorry, cop. Oh, so sorry. Oh, cop. And that's why I don't like screwing up, because I don't like having to why them, and, I feel like a dimwit when I do that kind of stuff. But fortunately, I don't overstay. And I don't know, I think they still give it to you, where if you go on, let's say if you go on, you're leaving on the 29th, but the day that you were supposed to leave was the 28th, they give you the full day. But if you go on the 30th, boom, you get charged for 2 days. Don't try to enter without the funds. Well, most of the time, they're not going to hit you up. I think they're going to hit up the backpacker type, the type that they think might not have the money. I think that's what they're going to do most of the time. Okay? But the one thing you don't do is argue with the officer and say, oh, don't worry, my wife, she got money there, we okay, no problem, come on. You don't get like that. What you got to understand is, when you're dealing with immigration, with customs, just about with any authority, whether it's a bank or immigration, you're not going to win. So speaking to them as if they're stupid, as if you're right, they're wrong, that's not the way that you get things done. Like I said, use the honey, not the vinegar. Shrug your shoulders. Oh, I'm sorry. And I hate to be that way, but I've had to do it a couple times in my life here. The right answer is, first of all, try to talk your way in. Try to sweet talk your way in. Oh, sorry. Oh, but I have credit card. Or give them a debit card and go, yeah, you see, I have this one. Do whatever you can to get in. But if you're unsuccessful and they won't let you in, then what you're going to want to do is go back to the destination and fly into a different port. And hopefully you have the money, because they won't even let you go sometimes. They won't even let you go to the ATM to get the money. You don't have the money now? No, cannot come in. Again, it depends on listen, with immigration, it really depends on the person you're dealing with. Just like with banks. Every bank is different. Every immigration officer is different. Arguing is not going to change their mind. And some of these officers are really strict about showing proof of funds. So you might want to carry the cash, or you might want to carry something like a bank statement that is like up to date. So you can show them that. I just show, usually I'll just show them my American Express card, and they don't care. But that only happened, like I said, one time. So Well, again, Jim, it depends on who the immigration officer is. They will not always work with you. Some of them can be dicks. Let's face it. You know, you're not gonna, I know you go into your little immigration out there or whatever, and you go, oh yeah, everything's good, okay. But there are places you go in, and they go, no, 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 sorry. And a long time ago, I've told people this online here. Well, maybe, but you know, that's the thing. Maybe, but maybe they're gonna go, oh no, no, that's no good. They can say whatever they want. You know, they can say whatever they want. If they don't want you to come in, they can find a way. This is the thing. Generally, though, they're not going to do that. They're not going to be that difficult. And if they are that difficult, your best bet is not to argue with them, because it's not gonna matter one bit if you argue with them at all. No, you don't. You only need like 20,000 baht, 10 to 20,000 baht. That's all you need. And you're not allowed to bring 5,000. You're allowed to bring 10,000. I don't think there's a limit. I don't think there's a limit to how much you can bring into the country. I think the limit, the 10,000 limit, is from the United States. But yeah, there is no limit. But any amount exceeding 15,000 US dollars must be declared to customs before arrival. You can carry up to 50,000 baht without a declaration. If you're traveling to neighboring countries, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Malaysia, Vietnam, the limit is 500,000 before requiring declaration. If you plan to bring in large sums, wire transfers or bank account transfer or Wise or something like that, Revolut, D-Money, all these kind of places, that's a better option. Now, what I would say is just don't argue. Arguing is the worst thing that you can do. I know there is a little bit of a cultural divide, especially from the south and the north, or the south and say Isan. There's always going to be some difference, but they're all Thai, and they don't, at the end of the day, it's about us versus them versus us. You don't have the same rights that they have. Yeah, they'll accept the equivalent. It doesn't matter. You need to have approximately what they're supposed to, what you need to have, which is 10 to 20,000 baht. That's only like $300 to about $600. That's not that much. All right. So, again, keep cool. Do not argue with them, because you will not win. And they have been known to write things in the passport next to the visa stamp and put things into their notes in the computer, so that every time you come through, whoever looks at it says, oh, this guy was a prick. This guy argued with me. This guy have a bad attitude. The guy can put anything he wants in there, and they will. Now, that's if you get carried away and you want to be, you want to be a stickler and you think you're going to win. Oh, what is this? Do you think the immigration person is like, they're not looking for a cash bribe, okay? It's easy. You're supposed to have money before you go in, and you're supposed to show that if they ask you for it. It's only 10 to 20,000 baht. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, $20. $20 ain't shit. I hate to tell you that. You're not going to bribe your way through. They don't give a shit about your bribe. Why is this looking the way that it is? Generally, you don't have very many problems. I don't know what's going on here. Hang on a second. Is this the... Yeah, there we go. They don't check all the time. Like I said, I've only been checked like once. But some people, they have the look of, you know, they come through in a pair of bathroom sandals, you know, flip-flops that you would wear into the shower, a pair of cheap-ass shorts and a t-shirt with holes in it. They're going to go, hey, you got the money. If you look like a bum, they're going to hit you up. And then if you don't have the money, well, you might get held up and you might not be able to enter. And you're not going to be able to bribe them. I mean, that's just stupid. I've been watching too many TV shows. Run you through effortlessly. Most of the time you're going to go through effortlessly, and it's not going to have anything to do with a $20 bill you put in your passport. Okay, so if you are a tourist, remember, you may need to have 10 to 20,000 baht in your pocket, not in the bank. Maybe with the bank, if you show a bank statement, they will accept it. But just carry 10 to 20,000 baht. You need cash anyway. And if you're a tourist, maybe you don't have a bank account. So, you know, bank account here in Thailand. All right, enough about that. All right. Well, I wanted to say again about this guy who used to come into the chat all the time. I think some people may remember him, but he came into the chat all the time. He was all right. He's a bit of a, you know, he's a bit of a stickler, like, well, I shouldn't have to do this and I shouldn't have to do that, and, you know, one of those kind of guys. Well, you know, the law says this and it says that. Yeah, but they don't care about it, okay? And he would be like, meh. Anyway, he was the guy who I've talked about, who he was here on a, what do they call it? No visa entry. Visa exempt. He didn't need a visa to come here. So every 90 days, or every 60 days back then, I don't remember. I think he had a tourist visa or something like that. So every 90 days, he left the country, did a visa rent, and then he came back in. So after a while, they told him, buddy, you need a real visa that's a long-term visa. And he was pissed off about it. And he wanted to argue with them. And I said, you can't argue with them. They told you, they already gave you the opportunity to get another visa. But why do I have to get another visa? Because they told you. What are you, stupid? I mean, really, they told you need a visa. It's their rules, their country. You can't just do whatever you want. Well, this is Thailand, everything's easy, I'm going to do whatever I want. No, that's not how it works. The sooner you remember that phrase again, Mipe and Rye, the sooner you're going to feel a lot better. Because they tell you, okay, you're going to need to get a new visa, you're going to need to get a marriage visa, a retirement visa, an ED visa, whatever. My Brunei cup. Okay, thank you. And then when you go back into the van or whatever, you're going, son of a bitch. Dude, are you a troll? Are you stupid? How about you go to the ATM? How about you get the money before you leave? That's all I'm going to say to you. I don't understand what your problem is. Now, let me see something here. Okay. The reason that there have been more immigration officers than in the past is mainly because of the Chinese tourists coming during Chinese New Year, and it was only 200. And it's not really, there's no real numbers that are released to the public that tell you exactly how many were hired at this point and then how many more were hired at 2025. Why are Thai ramping up the bullying up? Oh, God. You know, have you ever been to Thailand before? At Bangkok, I've always had a male officer and always polite and always dressed respectfully and always have enough cash, never had an issue. Thank you. Soy dog style. Have you ever been to Thailand? Inquiring minds like me want to know. Okay. The ATM. Oh, so the guy, to finish off what I was talking about, they wanted the guy to get a proper 1-year visa. And you know what? He said, oh, I got the money. Yeah, no problem. I can do it. Yeah. He never did it because he said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend my money and put my money in their account. And I said, well, then you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to figure something else out. And he didn't do it. And guess what? He couldn't come back into the country. I don't know what happened to him. He's disappeared. I mean, this is years ago. So, you know, you don't know a whole lot about the country. Seriously. The Thais are not ramping up things, trying to, you know, get on the expats and on their bad side and ruin their lives and make things so difficult for people. It's not all that much more difficult, honestly, in my opinion. It's not that much more difficult. It's pretty damn easy. You show the money and that's it. You go by what they say. Transfer the money over. The bank will give you paperwork that shows you have the money, and then you will give that paperwork that's all signed off by the bank. You will give that to the immigration department. Boom, no problem. Very simple. Now, it used to be a lot easier because you used to be able to get an income affidavit. And I did tell you guys that on one occasion, it was like the third time or something that I was getting my retirement visa, and I used to have a marriage visa. I brought my income affidavit in, and the guy took it, he looked at it, and he goes, this no good. He ripped it in half and threw it in the garbage. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. It cost me like 50 or 60 bucks to get the thing. I'm like, so what did I get it for? You bring bank statement. Okay. The next day I brought my bank statement. No problem. Went right to his desk. I was one of the first people. He just let me come right up. Boom. Okay, you have this. Okay, no problem. Boom. I was done. All right, now let's talk about this because this happened to me. We'll get into that too. The ATM disaster, when the ATM eats your card in it could be a rural town, it could be on a Sunday, it could be on a Monday, it could be whenever. What is the right way to deal with this disaster? You lose your card. The bank ATM eats your card. What's the right way to handle this? Anybody? What about if it's your card from the United States? You see, this one's a little more difficult. What you don't do, now, if it's a domestic ATM card, it's a piece of cake. If it's an international ATM card, it ain't so easy. And I had this happen to me a couple of months ago. And, I was a little bit freaked out because what happened was I took some money out. And, you can only take out 20 or 30,000 baht at a time. And I took out like 60,000. It took me, 2 times. The second time, I left my card in the ATM. Now, I didn't want to deposit in that bank. The money that I got, I wanted to deposit in another bank because I needed to put everything in a different bank account. So I walked down, this is right here, I walked down a few spots and there was Kashikorn Bank. I put my money in the bank and then I go, what happened to my card? I'm like, and then I go, son of a bitch, I left it there. So I ran back to Bangkok Bank and they were just opening up. It was like 11 o'clock. So I tell them what happened. I'm speaking Thai to them. And there was one lady there, she was a stone cold bitch. And there was one lady there who was nice and very helpful. So I tried to concentrate on the one that was nice, but the one that was helpful was the one that wasn't helpful, was the one that was, she continued and got on me. No, we can't do it. We can't do anything. And I said to the lady, listen, I just put it in like 5 minutes ago. It's in the ATM. It's like probably right on the top of all the cards that are in there, if you got any cards in there, it's probably right there on the top. And the one lady says, no, cannot do anything. The other one said, let me make a phone call. She makes a phone call. She gets the headquarters on the phone with me. They say, oh, this is an international card. I said, yes, I'm sorry, but it's an international card. She said, okay, let me speak to the lady again. I said, okay. Then the lady who was very helpful comes to me. She goes, come on, let's go outside. Which ATM? I go, this one right here. She told everybody at the ATM, okay, move, get out of the way. Go to the other ATMs. There's 3 ATMs. Use these other 2. She opens up the ATM. Right there on the top is my card. Takes it out. I go, oh, give me that. I'm like, give me that. Because what can happen is you have to call your bank, tell them that your card has been eaten by the ATM. The Thai bank isn't going to give you the card back most of the time. They'll mail it back to the bank in the United States. That card will never be used again. You're going to have to get a replacement. Now, as Jim just said, a lot of banks will not send your ATM card overseas. So that means I would have had to wait for them to send an ATM card to my mother and father. They would have just given me the number, given me the code on the back, and everything that I need. They would have just given me that stuff and said, all right, we'll send it over. It would have come in another week or two. So it would have taken me a month to get my card. Instead, it took me it took me more than 5 minutes, but I put it in, and then, 5 minutes later, they opened the bank. And I was lucky that they gave me the card back. What you may have to do if you're like a tourist, you may have to use another card. Now, my mother, she called, my bank is her bank. Okay, we use the same banks. It's just convenient. She put her card in, tried to get out, $600 or something like that. And it ate her card. No, it didn't eat her card. It said, we're sorry, we can't, this card, you need to call your bank or something like that. And so I said, oh no, that's terrible. What, you're gonna have to call them up? She goes, I called them before I left and told them I was gonna be here. This is when the banks were a little bit touchy about being overseas and using their card. She whips out another card from her wallet, uses that, boom, she gets the money. So she had another bank and had money in it, and she just took the money out, and everything was fine. If you don't have another bank, you may have to use Western Union and maybe have somebody send you some cash just to tide you over until you can figure things out. But if you have Wise, you don't even need the card. You just transfer it by Wise. Or you can do what I did, which was, sweet talk the people inside the bank, cry to them about, oh no, it's gonna take me a month or two to get that. Oh my God, I can't live without it. And the one lady was very nice and very helpful. The one who wasn't nice, by the time we were done, she was okay. She wasn't really bad. So I got very, very lucky, and now, that's another thing. I lost my Amex card that way. I just left it in after I took money out, and I was like, forgot to get it back. Well, fortunately, Amex will replace your card the very same day. So I was like, okay, this is good. So banks, they take days or months to return cards. And, if you are a tourist here, maybe that's your only way to get money. Maybe you don't have a bank here. Maybe you can't just transfer money over here. Maybe you're going to need somebody. Mom, can you please send me $500? That'll tide me over for this week. And then, I'll give you the money when I get home. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you want to do that. I don't, that would be, that would be really bad. If you ever get to the point where you got to beg to get home, just borrow the money to get home from somebody. And just go home. And then, you don't have any money. At least you're home. I've seen a lot of guys on Sukhumvit Road begging, and I'm like, I ain't giving you shit, man. Because if you get to that point where you don't have any money, and you can't, thank you very much, Richard. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you get to the point where you have no friends that have any money, your parents can't loan you any money, there's no one who can tie you over just so you can get home. Now, maybe nobody that you know has that kind of money. Maybe. Or maybe you've just blown through all your friends and you have no friends left and you're just shit out of luck. So, you got to think about that. Now, street vendor scam. The price doubles at the last second. I don't have this problem. Wrong answer. Pay the inflated price to avoid confrontation. Right answer. Politely decline and walk away. Well, that's not what I do, but I go, Pang ma, chai mi dai na. You know, it just means very expensive. I can't pay. I'm sorry. But that doesn't really happen. I mean, I hate to say it, it doesn't happen to me very often at all where people are trying to gyp me out of the price. I go a place and they either have the price posted or I ask them ahead of time, hey, how much per kilo? And they tell me. And sometimes I'll watch somebody goes and they buy something that I want. I see how much they pay. Okay. So you're paying 20 baht. All right, I'm not going to pay 80 baht. Why would I do that? And this doesn't happen all that often, but sometimes vendors pull this trick hoping you'll pay out of the embarrassment of, you know, you just be embarrassed and say, oh, well, I'll pay it. All right, no problem. You walk away. You are the only person, and I've said this a million times, you're the only person in control of your wallet, in control of your funds. Unless you got somebody else on the account, but, you know, all right, we're going to assume that you don't. You are the one who is responsible for your funds. So if you pay out double, triple, whatever it is, for a piece of fruit or food or a meal or whatever it is, well, that's, you know, oh, I just don't really care about it because I just wanted to eat. You know, I don't know. I don't have these kind of things happen. They don't happen. I hate to say it, they just don't happen to me. And if they were to happen, I would probably tell them off in a very polite way. You know, I don't have to be an asshole to them and, you know, threaten them or anything like that. But I would say, like, no, I know that Thai people pay 20 baht for this, and I'm not paying 40 baht. Sorry. And that would be the end of it. All right. Now we have this one, which, listen, I'll give you a thing to do at the bar. Any bar you go to, as soon as you order a drink, you get the bar tab and you look at it. If you have any doubts, that's what you do. You know, you don't just not look at it. And I'll tell you something, I went out once to this karaoke bar and I had tequila. And one of the girls were there, she goes, oh, you have tequila? I said, yeah. I'd like to bring it, but, you know, you guys allow that? Oh, yeah, we allow it. I said, okay, I'll come back. I went, got the tequila, came back, and we all sat and drank my drinks. And then when the bill came, I was like, what's this? You know, 5,000 baht. I'm paying 150 baht to drink my tequila? And I was like, no. It was like, oh, this girl sat with you for an hour, you know, that's 1,000 baht. No, it's not. I didn't ask her to sit with me. She wants to drink tequila, okay, that's fine. And I was very mellow about it because I knew there's probably some guy in the back with a cleaver and I might be in bad shape if I handled things a little differently. Now, this is similar to one that Jim's been involved with. Loud neighbor at midnight. I believe in his case it was loud motorcycle ripping through the village loudly. So the wrong answer is to scream at them or bang on their door and start yelling at them. Things tend to get a little bit crazy after midnight. And you might just get shot or hacked to death or something like that. The best thing that you can do is call the landlord or the building security or talk to the village chief, because if you have a direct confrontation with somebody, then that can just lead to drama and blows being thrown. If you have an intermediary, the security and the landlord or the village chief, that's a neutral person, somewhat neutral person, and they can kind of keep it professional. What is this here? If you're living that close to the financial edge, you should not be living on foreign country. Anyway, go home ASAP. Go sleep on the patio beach. You gotta sleep on the beach because you don't have any money. You shouldn't be in Thailand. You know, if you're not living here, if you're visiting and you don't have any money, it's time to go home. I don't understand why people don't know that. When I retire, I'm going to use a visa agent to facilitate the process for me. Okay, that's fine. Physical cards are so caveman technology, it's time to convert all the ATM machines around the world to work wirelessly with Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Garmin Pay. Yeah, good luck with that. Here in Thailand, we use a QR code. Nobody uses Apple Pay, nobody uses Google Pay, nobody uses Garmin Pay. I mean, maybe some people do, but not very many. Most people use the QR code, they use prompt pay, or they use a credit card, or they use cash. I had Wells Fargo mail cards here, arrived in 9 days. That's good. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, please. I'd appreciate that. If you are a sucker in a bar, the bill may be inflated and you have to pay it. Yeah, like I said, if you're in a bar and you don't trust the people there, you don't know them or whatever, check your bill every time you make. When you don't see the bill, you go, oh, where's my bill? And then you look at the bill, how much it is. If it's like 480 baht for one drink, you go, what's the problem here? Why am I paying this much for a beer? You have to allow the bar some way of making a living to pay the girls and the utilities. And what way is that? You overpay everything? I'm so worried about all the girls working there and the bars surviving. Oh my God. My Puyai Ban, handle it. Thank you very much. Which is what I said. I said, they'll probably handle it for you. And Thailand banking is advanced with the QR code system, in my opinion. Yes, very advanced. I mean, I don't even have to carry cash anymore. If I want to buy something from the market, like some bananas, no problem, I scan the QR code. If I'm on a motorcycle coming over here and I don't have any cash, no problem. The driver has on his vest, has a QR code in the back of his vest. I just lean back a little, scan the vest, get the QR code, boom, I pay him however much it is. I show it to him. Yeah, okay, no problem, done. He's already paid. And if you're here at the grocery store and you don't want to use your QR code, you want to pay with a credit card, whip out your credit card, you pay. That's all I do. And I use them. The credit card now I use because I get miles for it. I mean, and I just pay it right away. It's like if I spend 1,500 baht, I transfer 1,500 baht to pay that bill off immediately. So that I won't have that at the end of the month. We use the cardless withdrawal at ATM all the time. Well, it's funny you say that because I used to have, I think I have 5 different banks and 7 or 8 accounts. And I used to have 5 different cards. But they're all charging me 200 to 400 baht every year. And I'm like, if anything happens, all I have to do is transfer the money to a bank where I have my ATM card. So I canceled all but 2 of the ATM cards. So now I'm not paying as much every year. And I just use the cardless withdrawal. And if I have to, I use a card to withdraw the money. A piece of cake. Well, that happens sometimes, Jim. All right. Lost in Bangkok, your phone dies and you don't remember your hotel name. Well, let me just tell you this. If you are a tourist or even an expat and you are staying somewhere aside from your home, you decide, oh, I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to stay in this hotel, or you're a tourist and you're going to stay in a hotel. As soon as you're checking in, get 2 business cards from the hotel. You keep one on you all the time, and you keep another one at the room. That way, it doesn't matter if your phone dies. You just whip out your card and you go, take me here. And boom, they take you there. Wrong answer. Wander around aimlessly hoping to recognize something. Well, that might be something I would do, but generally I kind of remember. But, you know, sometimes you're way out of sorts and you're like, where am I? So the right answer is to you can find a major hotel or 7-Eleven or just a vendor or something like that and just ask for help. And usually if you tell them, oh yeah, there's a little gold thing on the top of the building, or you tell them something like that, they'll go, oh yeah, I know that one. Because they usually know where apartments are, they know where, you know, stores are, they know where hotels are. They're usually pretty smart about that stuff. So, and at 7-Eleven, they tend to speak a little bit of English, and hotels, they tend to speak a little bit of English. So they ought to be able to help you. Let's see here. Is Airbnb still popular in Thailand? Yes. The tourist police at BTS and MRT stations are there to help the tourist in such a situation as losing a phone or wallet. Well, it's funny that you say that, because the tourist police are not always at the ATM, at the BTS or MRT. You might have a hard time finding them, actually. Pro tip, get to know the BTS train system and get a rabbit card and load it with a few baht. Yeah, that too, Jim. Listen, if you really want to get with the program, you get your rabbit card and you link it with your line account. That's what I do. So when my water bill comes, I've already transferred a bunch of money onto my rabbit card, and it's in line. It shows you how much money you have online. If I want to pay my electric bill with line, I can do so. If I want to pay the water bill, I can do so. If I want to pay McDonald's, I can do so. I don't think you can do it here, but there's a lot of places that you can pay with the rabbit card. So if you link your card to line, and line, I'm surprised you don't have a line account, Jim. That's just ridiculous. How do you message your wife or talk to your wife? I mean, I almost never send any messages to anybody that's not online. Online, the Line app. So set up the Line account, link your rabbit card, and you have to go to certain, like the main hubs of the BTS, and you can link it there. They'll link it for you, and whatever money you put on, boom, it's going to show up in your Line account. Most of the time I have 1,000 baht or less. Right now I think I have about 300. So when I go and I want to take the BTS, I have a BTS card, and that is linked also to the Line account. So you just go and tap it, boom, you're done. And it lasts for 10 years. I just had to update it like a year ago, or 6 months ago. So anyway, that can really help. And you can pay for many bills. You can pay for a lot of bills. Now, the only thing is, if you're a foreigner, they only let you have a 5,000 baht limit that you can put on your line account. So if your electric bill is like 7,000 baht, well, you're not gonna be able to pay it. You have to pay it through the bank. I mean, I don't ever go, I know a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, you've got to go to 7-Eleven to pay the electric bill and the water. No, you don't have to. If you got a bank in Thailand, you just pay it right then. Pay it right online. Piece of cake. Well, listen, let me tell you something. Because I've been to all those places many times over. Cambodia especially. Cambodia, I've been there like 60 times. Vietnam, I've been there like 5 times. Vietnam, you cannot stay for a full year without going out of the country. There is no retirement visa, so how is that easier? Hey Carlos, how you doing? Cambodia is easier. You can stay for a year at a time. It's $300. I think it's $300 for the visa, and then $290 every year after that if you're using an agent. Piece of cake, right? But to me, Cambodia doesn't have nearly as many things to offer as Thailand has. I still don't think Cambodia or Vietnam is as good as Thailand. I think Thailand has far more things to offer. And although it may be a bit more difficult to do some things here, they're not all that difficult. It comes down to, do you have the money? Or are you one of these guys who's like, I'm going to be living there on $500? Well, that's what you go to Cambodia for. You live on $500 to $1,000 there. And I know that 20 years ago, when I was going there all the time, that, yeah, I know that, Bruce. Yeah, that kind of sucks. They don't use the QR code. I don't know why. What was I saying? Oh, you know, like 20 years ago, there was a guy who used to run, well, he's a young guy, and he was the manager of Sharky Bar. I knew the owner, right? He was a diver. And we used to talk all the time because we talked fights and stuff like that. And the guy was making $1,000 a month as the manager. He had a $300 a month apartment, and he still had a hard time making it. Because he, you know, you don't want to downgrade from when you live in the United States or wherever you're from. You don't want to downgrade. You don't want to go, oh, well, every time I pay, it really matters that I'm paying $2 instead of $1.20 for my motorcycle ride. And, you know, I like Cambodia. But to live there, even as a single guy, I think I would be a little bit, I don't know. It's just, I don't think it would fit my needs. I'd rather go somewhere like Portugal or Ecuador or Mexico or Costa Rica or something like that. If I wanted to go to Costa Rica, it'd be because I was down on my luck and I needed to save money. And, you know, it's not that cheap. I saw a guy yesterday who posted something about, you can go to Nicaragua, you can go to Cambodia, you can go to Vietnam. It's only going to cost you $500. No, that's bullshit. It's all bullshit. The only way that you're going to pay $500 to live in any of these countries, even Thailand, is because you have a house that you either paid for already or your wife or girlfriend paid for, and you're not paying any money on it. You have a motorcycle or a way to get around, so you're saving on your transportation costs. And the only thing you're really paying for is food, water, electric, and, you know, miscellaneous stuff. And you're not the kind of person going out buying, you know, new clothes. I mean, listen, you go out and buy new clothes, it can cost you $100 a month very easily, and that's buying stuff that's not all that expensive. You're spending, you know, you're spending $20 for a shirt, $25 for a shirt. And maybe once in a while you can splurge and spend $75 on a shirt. But if you're only making $500, you're not going to be doing that. My apartment right on the river with a beautiful rooftop garden had 2 bedrooms and only cost me $500. Well, you say only, but for the people who say you can live with $500 a month, there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. My buddy has an apartment there. He pays $450, and he really likes it. It's a nice place. However, he still lives in Phnom Penh, and to me, it could be better. All right? I mean, that's just the way I think. All right, let's get back to this. Yeah, you need to factor in health insurance, dental insurance, clothing, which, oh, well, I don't need to buy clothes. I'll just spend 79 baht. I'll buy a pair of shoes for $2.25. Oh, come on. Is that the kind of life you really want to live? Jesus Christ. I went looking for shoes the other day. I know for a fact, if you're going to buy Asics or you're going to buy Birkenstocks, okay, Asics, they start about 3,500 baht, which is a little more than $100. Maybe Birkenstocks you can buy for $125, but it might be $175 for a pair of Birkenstocks. Maybe you're going to spend 7,000 baht on some Asics. I went and I saw Skechers because my feet have been hurting me. I went and looked at the Skechers. Okay, I saw some good Skechers for about 3,500 to 4,000 baht. Now that's almost 100. Let's say that's $125, right? You making $500 a month, man? That's a big chunk, man. That's 25%. And then you got health insurance. You got to factor that in, and then you got to deal with the visa, and it's just. Yes, you can do it if certain criteria are met, but most people won't be able to do it. First of all, most of the time, a girl's not going to let you live with her for free. You're going to be footing the bill for everything else, I can tell you that. Okay, now here's another one, and I had this happen to me. Motorbike crash drama. Someone demands 5,000 baht after a minor accident. Now, what is this here? I'm in a condo with a massive pool and gym for $200 a month, 1-year contract, Big C, 7-Eleven, and many restaurants. Okay, so I'm in a townhouse for $200 a month. What's the point? And the only reason that we stay there now is because I don't want to make a payment. I don't want to have a payment that's 30,000, 40,000 baht per month. I got to pay a 40,000 baht mortgage. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just pay it off cash. I'd rather just save the cash up. And if I, get enough to pay it, then I just pay it cash. So you pay $200, but what about everything else? The private hospitals in Saigon were just as good as places such as Bangkok Hospital. The one I used was the American private hospital in Saigon. Yeah, okay. You can have pretty cheap and non-touristic areas. Yeah, it depends on where you live. That's the other thing. If I want to live, by Chitlom, well, I might have to pay, 80,000 baht a month for an apartment. All right, let me get to this motorcycle accident thing. Where are we? We're at 84 minutes already? Wow. Jesus Christ. Okay, you have an accident, and then the person who you had an accident with demands 5,000 baht, and it's just a minor accident. What do? Do you pay immediately to avoid trouble? No, you don't. And I'll tell you what I did. When I was living in Udon Thani, I had the motorcycle. I was driving back and forth to town, and on my way back into the home, I was driving straight, and some guy pulls out ahead. He's looking backwards. He's got 2 people on the back of the bike. He turns backwards and he's waving to somebody, but he doesn't see me. And I couldn't go over because there was a car coming, and I couldn't go to the left because he was going out in front of me. So I would have hit him. Well, which I did. I did hit him. I couldn't go anywhere. So immediately, I'm scraped up, I'm bleeding, I'm hurt, I'm pissed off at this guy. He starts going, you got to pay me money. 5,000 baht. That's exactly what he said to me. I said, no, I'm not paying you. I said, you call the police, no problem. So he did call the police, and I called my girlfriend at the time. My girlfriend came. My girlfriend said, let me talk. Let me handle everything. The police said, if you can't work it out, come to the station. I said, oh, okay, no problem. So I told her, I go, don't you give any money? Don't you give any money for this? She's like, oh, yeah, might been right. So then, 10 minutes go by. She comes back and she goes, okay, no problem. I said, what do you mean, no problem? I give him 500 baht. I said, why'd you do that? You shouldn't have given him anything. She's like, no. I give him the 500 baht, he's happy, and now there's no problem. I'm like, okay, whatever. Now, he would have tried to scam me, but because she was Thai, because she had the conversation with him, that didn't happen. And I got out of it. But many people try to scam foreigners, and if you're at fault, most of the time the police try to ensure a fair payout, not an inflated one. And I didn't, now that I think about it, okay, I didn't think she should have to pay anything, but instead of having a problem because I don't want to pay anything, she just gave 500 baht, and that was the end of it. Pretty smart, really. I mean, even though I didn't want her giving any money, but it's a pittance. And then I stayed out of jail. And it was his fault. It wasn't my fault. That was the thing. I'm like, I ain't paying shit. And actually, I said to him, you want to fight? We'll fight. No problem. Let's fight for it. Because I'm not paying you shit. I mean, I was an asshole. I was pissed off. Because I thought I could have been killed. And this guy, he's worrying about his motorcycle. He's not, he didn't come over to me, hey, are you okay? You okay, sir? No, nothing like that. It was like, give me money. Anyway, all right, another one here. The taxi scam. The driver forgets to turn on the meter, and then he wants 500 baht. That happens every once in a while. It happens. You don't argue and threaten him about it. You just basically laugh about it. And usually, if you're smart, you'll know about how much it costs. If you're going to the same place over and over again, you know how much it costs. It's not going to cost me 100 baht to come from here to go back home. It might cost me 50 or 60 baht. Right? So if he forgets, I just go, okay, here's 50 baht. And you go, all right, I'll give you 60. And that's it. You forgot to turn on the meter. It's your fault, buddy. But stay calm, and, you give them the money, and you say, okay, thank you, and you walk away. You get away as fast as you can. If it's a short ride, 100 baht is only, a little bit less than $3. It's not like it's going to kill you, and you have to remember that. And this took me a long while because I'm stubborn, and I don't like having to give money away when I don't think I'm at fault. But if you remain calm and you just give a little bit of money and you get out of there and there are no repercussions, then you win. Even though you had to pay a little bit of money. It's like if you go and the guy goes, oh yeah, it's 60 baht. And then he gets there and he goes, no, it's 70 baht now, it's too far. Yeah, you can be a dick and go, no, you said 60, here you go. Okay, I understand that. But sometimes you go, all right, if the guy wants 70 baht and nothing's gonna happen if you don't give him the 70 baht, but you just go, He's going to be happy flying here. You know, a lot of times, some of these people, they're living from day to day. Not all of them, for sure. There's a lot more wealthy people than you think living here. So that's what you do in that. All right, let's see here. Let me read this a little bit more here. What is this? If you call the police in Vietnam, the police would impound both vehicles until you pay the police $100. Yeah, well, that sounds great, doesn't it? Not really. My Thai partner parked directly under a no parking sign, and she said she always parks there. Not very smart. We go around, come back, her vehicle was booted with a ticket, 900 baht. Well, that's why you don't park there. Tell them to turn the meter on as soon as you get in. Well, sometimes, you know, I mean, I've been in a taxi leaving the airport, and then they just go, oh yeah, 500 baht. I go, no, turn the meter on. And they're pissed off because, you know, they've already driven for a couple of miles. They got to turn the meter on in order to get paid. And, you know, if they go, oh yeah, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, and if they really did forget to turn the meter on, it was an innocent act, well then, you know, if maybe you only pay 150 baht, but normally you would pay 250, just give them like 200 baht. You go, here, you know, a little bit of money will go a long way in smoothing things out, because some of these people, they will fight for 10 or 20 baht, and you don't want to be like the guy who got cut and killed with a samurai sword because he was fighting over like 22 baht or something like that. You don't want that. It's just not worth it. And this is coming from somebody who used to be a hardhead, who used to be like, nah, fuck them. They're not getting shit, you know. What about your driving license? I'm not driving here, but Juan, can we change to it easy to a Thai one? I wouldn't say it's easy, but you can get one rather easily if you really want. I don't, because I'm not going to drive here. Why? I can pay to have a driver for me. I got drivers anytime I want. I just call up Grab or Bolt, and they'll drive for me. And if I'm going somewhere where they're not there, then I'll get a van, or I'll get I'll get somebody to drive for me, and I'll just negotiate a price, and then that's it. Yeah, you have to go to the DMV for sure. I mean, you're not going to just do it all online. We paid it, said thanks, and discussed the scam meter guy. First time it ever happened. Two ladies had an all-out brawl for 5 baht down the street. For 5 baht. Oh my God. You cheat me out of 5 baht. I kick your ass. You know, some people they're fighting for every satang. Now, I don't usually act this way because I think about it like, you know, like every once in a while, the motorcycle, you know, I got 40 baht, I give it to them and they start to give me the 5 baht back and I just go, keep it. Big deal, you know, like I give them the 5 baht out of 40. It's a tip. But they ain't getting a tip from most people, I can tell you that right now. So I give them a little tip, and it's like, all right, you know, you're good to me, you drive me. Okay, no problem. Yeah, cards is the root of all evil in Thailand. Cards and dice and fucking people. That's just something I taught my kids right away. Don't gamble. You gamble, you lose, you're screwed. All right, so let's say that you ate some bad seafood and it's a food poisoning emergency. The wrong thing to do is ignore it and hope it goes away. The right way is to hydrate and get yourself some of a little activated charcoal or anti-diarrhea. You'll know, you know, you can tell the pharmacy, well, this diarrhea really stinks. It's really bad. And they know what kind of diarrhea it is and what pill to give you. So that's the way to handle that. And usually after like 2 days, you should be much better. All right, hospital bill shock. Oh. A private hospital gives you a 50,000 baht bill for something minor. The wrong answer is you pay it without question. Never, never, never release those funds until you're satisfied with the amount you are being charged, because they need to show you everything, not just doctor fee, 20,000 baht. Okay, doctor fee for what? You know, medicine. What medicine? You tell them, go ahead, call the police, and they might do that. You say to them, well, it depends. If they took care of you already, well, you're kind of obligated to pay something. So you try to negotiate a deal. You try to hammer out a deal, but you do not pay if you think it's way too much. And I know it's hard when you're dealing with medical supplies and medicine and all this kind of stuff, but the bottom line is, if you go in and you sprained your wrist and you're paying 50,000 baht, that ain't right. So you need to figure out what the price is. And they are allowed to charge more money for you, for Middle Easterners, for Japanese. They're allowed to charge more than they charge for Thais. That's the law, which I don't understand. Which is why I think if they start making foreigners pay tax, guess what? I should get the same price as the Thais. Private hospitals almost always overcharge foreigners. It doesn't mean you shouldn't use them. Hopefully your insurance will take care of most of the bill or all of the bill. But I've noticed over the years the way that it's risen. You know, it used to be I'd go in and it'd be 500 baht, 1,000 baht for something. Now it's 2,500 or 3,000 baht for just something minor. You take the test online, da 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 da. Yeah, but you need to take a driving test, Jim. Oh, you had a current driving test. Okay, thanks. Going to the pharmacy straight away. They got something for that. Yes, they do. Is there a deductible? Well, there can always be a deductible. You don't know. It depends on the insurance. How you guys handle the banking here? I still have an EU account, transfer to Wise, and pay by credit card in Thai baht. Well, where does your EU funds go? Do they go into the Thai bank? Piece of cake, man. Oh, wow. Well, maybe that's because you had a current driver's license. I don't know. I don't really want one. I mean, every once in a while I get the urge to buy a motorcycle, but I just can't see driving in here. Can you see me driving from my house to here, going in the back, parking my motorcycle somewhere, having to walk down from the second or third floor down to the ground floor, walking around to the front, and then just to come back into here? I don't understand why I would do that. He did it online. All right, let's see here. You order food at a restaurant and they bring you the wrong dish. This has happened to me many, many times. The wrong answer is that you demand to speak to the manager and argue and bitch and moan about your food. That's not what you do. You politely explain the mistake and ask for the correct dish. Because Thailand it's a place where there is some decorum. Keep your politeness about you. Respect the people. Don't get all pissed off. And you should be a lot better off than that. I don't think so, pal. I don't think so. The only reason is because I think about using it and I think, what the hell am I going to do? I'm going to use it to come here. I'm going to use it to go to a coffee shop down the street. I don't need it. Even to go down to the river or something like that. I just jump on the BTS, jump on the MRT, boom, I'm there. You know, I don't have to, I have no maintenance fees. I don't have any repairs. I have none of that. So that's why I like it. Now, if I was living full-time in Suratani or somewhere else where there weren't that many people, there was not much going on, and in order to get around, it was a pain in the ass, you got to have some transportation, then I would do that. Driving through my neighborhood is an ordeal. It's not really my neighborhood that's the ordeal. It has nothing to do with that. It's when you get out of my neighborhood and you start driving down Lat Pral Road or Ramkhamhaeng Road, that's when there's a lot of traffic. And what the hell do I want to deal with that for? I don't understand why people don't understand this. What do I want to deal with that shit for? I just call up a Grab, a guy comes and picks me up in a car, I sit in the back like I'm, you know, I'm big money. I sit in the back. Where to, sir? You should have it. I'm going to the hospital. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Boom, that's it. How did the name happen? Who says it became so popular? I never said that. Never in my life have I said Happy Land is so popular. That is what I meant, between Toll Road and Mall Trap. Yeah. I mean, and you know, think about it, Jim. What am I going to do? I'm going to drive my motorbike and I'm going to come over here, go in the back at 8 o'clock or 8:30. I'm going to go park my motorbike. Then I'm going to walk down 2 floors and I'm going to walk to the front of the... What the hell? I just get somebody to take me here, drop me off. Oh, God. There's not many places that are named Happy Land, okay? Let me see something here. Takes 25 minutes from time I enter the mall parking to get to Pacamara. Well, and it takes me 2 minutes to come in through the front door. That's what I mean. Listen, the reason that Happy Land is called Happy Land is because back in the 60s and 70s, it was a red light district. There were amusement rides, you know, nightclubs. But over time in the 80s and 90s is when things started changing. And it's only one area. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's a big square area or rectangular, I don't know. Anyway, let me get back to this. Yeah, the mall ranks it. Okay, so you're in a crowded market, someone bumps you. This is an easy one. And I learned this a long time ago when, what was the name of that, Black Rain with Sean Connery and Michael Douglas in the movie? And Sean Connery said, "You let me do all the talking." Michael Douglas started to say something. He was rude to the Japanese, and Sean Connery said, you idiot, what are you doing? He said, I'm the one who can handle this. And so basically he said exactly what you're supposed to do here. You bump into somebody here and you say, I'm sorry, or you say, Mipe and Rye. What's like normal electric bill for you? I find it quite expensive with 2 air cons. I don't know if you want to know what my electric bill is, because it can get pretty outrageous. Hang on one second. Lately it's only been about 3,500 baht. But most of the time, and this month it was 6,000, and it's been as high as 8,000. But that's when we had our old air conditioners. Now we have new air conditioners, and they're a lot more cost effective. So, I mean, I was pissed that it was 6,000 this month. So when somebody bumps into you, you say you're sorry, or you say Mipe and Rye. That's what you do. Which means no problem. Don't worry about it. And that's a way to diffuse the system, diffuse the situation right away. All right, let's go here. Let's see. You're walking down the street and see a monk walking by. What do? Keep walking as if nothing happened. Right answer, step aside respectfully and avoid physical contact. You don't touch them, especially if you're a woman. You don't touch them. You can talk to them. You can say something to them, but if they don't want to talk to you, they won't talk to you. So. No, we pay to the government, so I mean, I know our bill is what it is, and that's just the way that it goes. We have a big house. We have like 6 computers. We have, how many computers do we have? 1 for Nicholas, 1 for Alex, 2 for Bo, 1 for the TV, and 1 for me. We have 7 computers. We have 1, 2, 3, or 5 phones. We have 2 refrigerators. We have 2 microwaves. We have all kinds of stuff. So that's why our bill is what it is. Okay. You're in a taxi and notice the driver is speeding and driving recklessly. And this can be a bit of a hassle, especially if you're in a van, like a Rotu. If you're in one of those, and you got to be very careful, because sometimes they go nuts, these guys. They're just, they're on the Yaba, they're on Red Bull, they're on whatever they are, and they're just speeding along, and they think that's how you got to be. And to me, like, sometimes I'm on the motorcycle, and the guy's hauling ass, and I'm like, this guy needs to slow down. I tell him, dude, slow down, I'll give you a tip. I don't want him hauling ass and, running the risk of me being thrown off the back of the bike or something, The wrong answer is to get upset and to demand the driver stop. The right answer is to politely ask the driver to slow down, and if need be, offer him a little tip to slow down. Again, you need to remain polite and calm, and you don't want to get argumentative with the driver. And if you ever watch the Thais, how they handle this, that's how they handle it. They stay relaxed until after a while they go, hey, you're scaring me. They'll say something like that. All right, last question. You need to renew your visa, but you've forgotten an important document. Do you get angry and start blaming the staff? Why would you do that? Why would you get angry? It's your fault. You just apologize and politely say, I'll come back with the missing document. And, you know, they don't have a problem. Listen, they're working and they're going to be working tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the day after that. Usually they're very accommodating, especially if you're just polite about it. It could just have been an honest mistake. And a lot of times they'll go, hey, you know what? You need this one form. You don't have it. So, you know, you're going to have to come back. And they don't ever say, you know, oh, come back tomorrow, come back in 3 days. Most of the time they just go, you got to come back. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, I had to do that when the guy said, no, we don't take these affidavits anymore. And they did, but he just was being a dick. And he ripped it up and put it in the garbage. Well, I came back the next day with my bank statement and said, here you go, buddy. Dowlo, what's happening? So basically you need to say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I'll be back with the proper paper tomorrow. And, you know, all of these questions are basically geared towards an expat that's going to be successful. If you're going to be unsuccessful transitioning, it's because you get angry, because you lose your cool. And you can't do that. You got to have patience, respect, you got to be calm. And those are the essential traits for living successfully in Thailand. Dowlo, can you survive in Thailand? Oh yeah, we have 4 people living in our house. Sometimes we have, you know, there's a person who spends the night every once in a while. So we always have both air conditioners going and, you know, whatever. I mean, listen, I would rather only pay 4,000 baht or 3,000 baht. And when that happens, I'm very happy. But if I got to pay 6,000 baht and it means not sweating your ass off when you're inside of the house or when I'm sleeping, waking up dripping in sweat because I kept the air conditioner on, well, then that's what it takes. So you pay a little bit more. Anyway. Well, that was odd. Alrighty, so what is the biggest survival mistake that you make? What is your mistake? Do you remember? Do you know? Jim, I must admit I do get very relaxed in Thailand, especially after a massage. Especially the massages. I'm always relaxed. You know that? Really? I hate to say it. I am always relaxed. And you know, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I said, what do we have to be stressed out about here? You know, really, what do we have to be stressed out about? You got your visa, you got food, you're healthy, you're wealthy, you're wise. So what's the problem? I don't have an employer breathing down my throat. Scott, you've got to get that report to me by tomorrow. I want that report on my desk first thing tomorrow morning. I don't have any of that. I'm grateful. Very grateful. He thrives for 3 months. I'll give him that. Anyway. Yeah, I try not to do that too much. I try not to watch the news. I know all about what's going on with Trump, what's going on with the Democrats and Republicans and in the Ukraine, and you know what? And I'm going to do a video about this. I don't really care. And people can go, how can you not care? Well, of course I do care a little bit. I care because I want to be okay. I care because I want my parents, my friends and family to be okay. I don't want them to say, sorry, you're not going to get any more Social Security, buddy. Of course, I care about that. But most of the time I don't care. It doesn't matter. You know, what happens doesn't really matter. Oh, so-and-so got pissed off and they threw this and they got... I don't care about that. You know, what is that going to do for me? Again, I will say this. Don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. Why should I care to where I'm going to get all upset about, well, I really wish it was this way or that way? I care. I'll tell you what I care about. I care about when is my wife going to be able to only work like 2 days a week at the office to where I can go somewhere, she can be with me, we go somewhere, and we're staying where I want to be. That's what I think about. Can we do that? When's that going to happen? That's all I care about. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. You can become a VIP member of this channel. Just hit the join button. It's as little as $1.99. Quite cheap. There's all kinds of ways. You can use the super chat, the super thanks. You can use the CASHAPP. You can use the Patreon. You know, you can buy some merch. You can buy some of my books off of Amazon. You can just watch, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. That's fine. She doesn't work 2 or 3 days a week. She can work at home. Well, she can work at the office usually 2 or 3 days a week and then work at home the rest of the time. But she works. It's not like, you know, she's able to, you know, work for an hour and then, okay, well, I'm done for the day. That's not what she does. Yeah, okay, Jim. Okie dokie. Did I forget anything? No. Oh, yes. Let me read these out real quick. Thank you for the support. Carnivore Chronicles, Carlos, Billy Ray, Jim Y, TkyoSam, Mitch, Dowlo, Steven, John F, Andy Travels, Alan, Suwon, Tim, Mindy, Lee, Narve, David, Robert, Firedude, Florin, NCS Play Inc., Gilles, Dale, Charles, Beason, Tom, Chris, Bahtman, Victor, Bruce, Chuck, Tony 7682, Henry, Dimitry, and Daily G, and also Richard. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I appreciate it. And I guess that's all I got. That's all I have. So, until next time, I am Scott. I am an American in Bangkok. Chok di leo jerkin mai, which means good luck and take it easy. Good luck and see you again. Take care. Take care. And I will see you, I don't know, maybe next Friday. All right? There you go. Take care. Bye-bye.